I think I might have a fucking problem. Pushing out of rolling marijuana. Thinking about getting more to the bank, but they won't let me in cause I smell like dank. I think I might have a motherfucking problem.
Get it.
I think I might have a motherfucking problem.
YouTube, what it be like? It's your boy Fo, and bro, we got some new and exciting Madden news, and I just wanted to cover a little bit of that. I was planning on making a video a couple of days ago talking about the X Factor abilities and what I thought about them, and little did I know that E3 was coming up. I wasn't even paying attention, and before I knew it, yeah, on EA today on their website and their YouTube channel, they uploaded a stream going over face of the franchise, as you can see on screen right here. The scenario engine playbooks, which they've really just added a lot of RPOs, and they said they're gonna update playbooks all throughout the year. I thought that was interesting. Madden Ultimate Team missions, and then X Factor abilities. I wanted to kind of share my thoughts on the X Factor abilities because I thought they were pretty interesting, and I just want y'all to get my perspective on it. And then first and foremost, I just really want to say that for better or worse, this still is just some kind of change because the game was starting to feel extremely stale. And even if this shit is a complete train wreck, it's still cool that they just decided to change it, and that way it gives us a whole lot of content to put out, because y'all know how thorough and detailed we are at looking at different things, and this is just gonna be connecting dots and trying to put puzzle pieces together for the right types of players to put on teams and concepts to go along with the plays and schemes that we cook up. Now, when we look at X Factor abilities, it reminds me of NBA 2K. Per community feedback, which I feel like this is also crazy to me, people wanted the stars to play more like stars, and I understand, like, it's a really general statement to say something like that because you have to dive into it. And then I get, like, really casual players will say things like that at times, not really understanding the mechanics of just a football game and how hard that would be to implement. And I get playing with your favorite team. Say you play with the Patriots, for instance, and you see Julian Edelman go off on Sundays, but he's just not really good in Madden. I can understand how that's a problem. Or JJ Nelson is extremely fast, but he's not a great receiver. But somebody's figuring out how to exploit him, but then, you know, Julian Edelman is a great receiver and you can't get him open the same. I can understand how that's a problem. So they've implemented what feels like a badge and like takeover system from 2K. They have superstar abilities and X Factor abilities. The superstar abilities that you can see on screen right here are the black icon abilities, and those are abilities that are really always active on a player, just like given certain scenarios, just like badges would be on 2K. So like for Juju right here, you can see Slot-O-Matic. When lined up in the slot, receivers with this ability make faster cuts, have better hands, and have a higher chance of beating the press. So he's already a great receiver. If you line him up in the slot, he's even better, and you can see cross specialists as well. But then they have something that feels a lot like takeover or a grand badge, which is called a zone ability. And this zone ability will just simply activate when you complete like a certain number of tasks in the game. Like you need to get 4 catches of over 30 yards. He'll go into the zone, and it's called double me. And aggressive receivers overpower defenders and attack the football. When they enter the zone, this ability increases their success rate on aggressive catches. So last year in the game, people already had a problem with canned animations and how easy it was to aggressive catch. But now you'll have specific players that'll be able to just do this at a really alarming and overpowering kind of rate. If you see here, and like, bro, I hope I don't get, I got the sound muted and I'm just gonna play that. You can see right there where That's really that's tough. If and the presenters was basically saying that you need to double team him, and you're just gonna have to strategize for that in the game, and they hope that it's like a chess, more like a chess game where you have to just account for these things. Now, couple of things that I think about this. One, we'll get the obvious out of the way. They did also mention that you can user kind of stop this yourself, and then you can also like have defensive players with their own zone abilities or their own superstar abilities that can kind of combat this. The problem that I really feel like that's crazy about stuff like this is that once you get in the zone on something like this, it just kind of breaks the rules of like real life football, which is what they're kind of trying to go for by implementing things like this. Like because of consistency and inconsistency, this is where the issue kind of comes in. Like Juju's in a game, that would be the highlight of the entire game for the most part. So he's probably only going to do that one time, but you have to like get broken out of this or miss a catch out of this. You could potentially get into the zone by exploiting some quick early first quarter catches, get into the zone by middle of the second quarter, and then you can just spam this for the most part. But we don't know. We hadn't played the game, so we don't know how consistent or how like overpowered that this could be, right? But that's the thing that I don't think they account for, is like the consistencies or inconsistencies. Juju could be hot, and like what about the defensive back? Like if he doesn't have the correct ability, he's just SOL. Like he doesn't have a chance to defend this. Even when somebody is at their hottest in a football game, there's always an opportunity for it to go the other way and make a play. Another thing that I saw online was on the EA website was that, say you do have a defensive player that has a specific ability, right? Well, it'll be a 50-50 coin toss is what they say, to figure out like who wins out. Has nothing to do with positioning and like the actual physics of the game. It just ends up being a 50-50 coin toss on which ability trumps the other one. So then, that gets even further away from like realistic football when we're letting the engine decide what the outcome of the game is going to be. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I haven't played it. I definitely think it's a great idea for them to come up with like a closed beta so people can test it. They can tune it, balance it, because this it's just like 2K, man. Like 2K is on their third set of games with like archetypes, third generation, and they're still working towards balancing it. Even this year with 2K19, like stretch bigs or sharpshooting playmakers are just really overpowered, and that takes me to Patrick Mahomes, right? Now, I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes isn't an exceptional quarterback, and it's okay for him to have the abilities that he does have, but this also creates this other thing that I don't think they're accounting for, which is, say my favorite team is the Rams, right? And I have Jared Goff. Now keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes, though, he has a zone ability that only he has. So he's the only player in the game with his zone ability. But then he has a lot of other superstar abilities as well. Like escape artists that's insane. Passers with this ability are faster and more responsive to user input while scrambling behind the line of scrimmage. Dashing Deadeye, where he can throw perfectly on the run. This quarterback specifically, his combinations of skills mixed with his zone ability that makes him throw the football 15 yards farther than any other quarterback in the game. He can throw an 80-yard pass, right? It makes him a one-of-one. And while I understand that he feels like a one-of-one in real life, and that's the whole point, right? Somebody like Jared Goff might not have the same abilities or a set of abilities that are going to even kind of give you the same opportunity to exploit the game in a way, or to be more or as effective as Patrick Mahomes. So that's going to lead to like people just spamming the same players. And you go to Madden Ultimate Team, everybody's gonna have like the same sets of players because they're overpowered. Or you're gonna get online and you're gonna see the Chiefs over and over and over again because Tyreek Hill is like 1,000 speed, and then Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball fucking 100 yards. So that's where it reminds me of 2K as well, because people always want to figure out how to get a competitive edge. Like, say you take this superstar ability, Escape Artist, right? And remember I said it makes people faster and more responsive. Let me show you something that's crazy. So check this out. Watch how Patrick Mahomes gets this crazy speed boost. Now, can you imagine if this is Lamar Jackson with Lamar Jackson speed? You're going to cheese this. Watch. And I'm sure, like I said, they say there are all kind of counters in the game. But watch this. Watch how he cuts back. Look at the speed boost he got. He just turned on a dime and he darted away. Almost, it felt like 2K, like you can speed boost out of an animation and it gets you this crazy amount of separation from your player. And again, now these are like badges or abilities that's creating a competitive edge, but then they're also getting you even further away from what their actual goal is to create a realistic experience. That's what makes me really want to play this game, because now trying to figure out which superstar ability goes with what player, that goes with what scheme, that goes with what money play, which goes in, and even defense. So even when you think about defense, defensively, if I get into a specific cover 3 that I can blitz out of, or different situations like that, bro, I can exploit a ton of things. Like they have Aaron Donald, so he has pass rush elite. Defenders with this ability use faster pass rush moves for a better chance at shedding pass blocks. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect interior defensive linemen, but I can only imagine how crazy that's going to be with offense outside like linebackers, because they also have like an edge rush elite. Imagine players like that, and they haven't said anything about the offensive line, and I felt last year the offensive line was one of the more weaker spots in the game that they could have done a much better job on. So hopefully it has improved, and they do have their own like abilities as well. And I can't, if they picked only a select number of players or like star players that have like traits, I can't imagine that there's going to be a ton of offensive linemen with traits. So they're going to be going against a lot of like elite players that are going to be able to dominate them with these abilities. Now, if you look at his zone ability, he can actually make you throw errant throws just by, like, when he gets in the zone, just by being around you, even if he is engaged into a blocker. And his other ability, under pressure, like defenders with this ability can apply pressure to the quarterback from a greater distance. So he when he's in the zone, he's really gonna make you inaccurate as a quarterback, because you can even look here, like, and this gets us further away from real football, because you can see like Russell Wilson as well, bro. Like, how many times is that gonna happen? That's a situation where he just threw a crazy errant throw, and they show even more of these happen. Don't get me wrong, I know it happens sometimes, but you know, I don't think Russell Wilson just stands in the pocket like that anyway. And then if he does, like, I mean, how that was really, really far off. But, you know, that's part of the game now, and we have to account for stuff like this. You know, other things to think about is like playing Ultimate Team. You know, what if you playing a specific like 3-4, like cover 4 zone, or like a cover 3 with 3 hook zones in the middle, and you got all your players on the field have a zone out superstar ability in Ultimate Team. Interesting. I have no idea a way of knowing like what the balancing is going to look like. So I'm not shitting on this because I haven't played it. I just don't know. I just already felt like this is kind of like on that path to 2K, where it's gonna make a lot of people pick the same types of players, because there's gonna be things that are gonna be better than other things. That's just how it is when you put out stuff like that, which means there's gonna be players that are better than other players, and that's gonna make people pick certain teams or put certain people on their team, different things like that. Now, I can say for the casual player, this seems extremely fun. I can also say if you play by yourself in franchise mode, bro, this seems like it'll make the game feel endless. It just seems like an endless number of combinations that you can come up with for unique play styles and unique things that you can get done. So I really like the idea of this. I just fear that it's going to be extremely overpowered, because they're not going to be able to dictate like the consistency on something like that. So anyway, y'all comment y'all thoughts, man, and let me know. We are definitely going to dissect this game this year and have a lot of fun with it, and we'll upload a ton of content. So like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well so you can know when we post. And as always, respect the OGs. Peace.